Hey everyone, so hopefully this video will be very quick, but I wanted to post this video to help you or give you some pointers for your first assignment. Okay, so for your first assignment you need to identify three publications and then put those, create a reference page citing those three papers. Now, I want to make this general comment really quickly. And I assumed that people had were being taught this, but I had last semester I had somebody cite somebody or cite Wikipedia, and that was in a capstone graduate course. So it became clear to me that that's not being conveyed all the time to students anymore. But I wanted to emphasize here: when you are citing something, you want to make sure that your sources are peer-reviewed. Okay, you never want to use a crowd-sourced information source. Okay, so which is what Wikipedia is. Literally, you could go right now and go edit any Wikipedia page that you ever wanted. All right, so you never, I want to emphasize, never want to cite Wikipedia. It is literally the worst possible source, all right, for anything that you would ever submit, which needs evidence, okay, which is any kind of research proposal or document that you might submit in a research-based course, okay. So, although some of you, depending on what your undergraduate major was, may already have some experience in doing some of the things that I'm going to be showing you, I wanted to refresh your memory, and for those who don't have experience, give you some pointers on how to identify peer-reviewed sources and how to find them. Okay, so I use a couple tools when looking for peer-reviewed sources. The first tool that students often use is their library. Okay, and you have access to the Cameron Library, and you get to the library by just typing in that URL or by searching library into the search bar here at www.cameron.edu. I don't know why, but if you don't put in the www in front of cameron.edu, it doesn't automatically route the way it does with many other websites. So, but it's easy for me to just remember the URL and go into it. So it's just www.cameron.edu/library. Now, here on the website, there are a number of things you can, I would draw your attention to. First, I would draw your attention to the interlibrary loan, although that won't be terribly useful for this assignment because it's due in 4 days, and an interlibrary loan doesn't typically have a turnaround that's less than a week long. So it wouldn't help you for this first assignment. But if you do a research proposal in any other class, for example, if you ever take my advanced social class, you'll be doing a research proposal there, and you're not able to get access to a paper, or you're blocked by a paywall, which basically means you can't find a way to get a hold of some source without paying for it. Never pay for an article. One thing you can do is use interlibrary loan. Now, the interlibrary loan system involves you setting up a separate account and then submitting your requests to the library through this other account, but you can get there through following this interlibrary loan link. All right, but the other way, probably one of the more common ways people find sources, is by following this database articles and more link. Now you can see the subject areas, click on psychology, and here are the databases that we have. The Academic Search Premier and Psych articles are going to be two of your more useful, and JSTOR probably should be in that list as well, are going to be two of the more useful databases. But we're going to use Psych articles just for today's demonstration. All right. Now, this is the standard page, is what automatically comes up as soon as you choose Psych articles. But this is the search engine that uses this single entry isn't terribly well, I haven't found it to be terribly effective. So often what I use is this advanced search option. Now you can choose all manner of item to search by. All right, so let's say that I wanted to look for a paper that I know was published by Baumeister. He's one of the best published social psychologists out there. But I know he wrote a paper over the effects of social exclusion on helping behavior. All right, well, in social psychology, we usually call helping pro-social behavior. So I can, and I know his last name is Baumeister, so I can click author here, and I can click Baumeister, or type Baumeister. Okay. Now, I know that it is about social exclusion. I know that the paper is about social exclusion, so I can type in social exclusion and click subjects there. All right, and I know that it's about helping, and I know that it's about pro-social behavior, so I can type in pro-social behavior. All right. Now, click search. Boom, there it is. Now, let's say that you didn't really know what you were looking for specifically, like I just did there. Let's just say that I'm interested in social exclusion, okay, and I know that Baumeister is someone who does stuff in social exclusion. There you go. You got a bunch of articles over social exclusion. Let's say that I didn't even know Baumeister was someone who publishes about social exclusion. All I knew is that I wanted to look up things about social exclusion. There you go. All right. So this is a fairly effective way of finding stuff, but I have come to, in the last about 5 years, come to use a different tool far more often, and that is Google Scholar. Okay. Now, this single item search engine is far more effective than that you find in psych articles. Now, even if you want to use an advanced option, you can. All right. You just click right there, and now you've got many of the same advanced search options that you had before. But you can combine those options into a single search. So you can see that I was looking for a different paper earlier. So let's look for that same paper. There it is. All right. Now, one thing I'll mention about Google Scholar that's really helpful is that Google Scholar isn't limited to just your library. Okay, it searches anywhere online, and it searches any library that you have access to. So you'll see that here is a link to Cameron Full Text. That's because I've made Google search the Cameron library. Now, how do I do that? Click here, this down arrow. Click Advanced. Sorry, that's not what I meant to do. Click Settings. Now, it'll bring you to this page right here. You see this? Library. Can you see this? You can't answer. Sorry. Click Library Links. Now, you can see how I've selected Cameron University Library, University of Oklahoma Libraries. All right. Now, how did I get that? Well, I just type in the name of the library that I want to use, and it'll bring up options. Now, like I said, I've already clicked them here. But let's say I wanted to use the library in my hometown, which is the Ada Public Library. Apparently, they don't use it. Let's say my undergraduate alma mater, East Central University. There you go, right there. All right, and then I could just click that, and from then on out, as long as I click Save, so click that, click Save, and then from then on out, anytime I do a Google Scholar search, it would search the ECU library. Now, I don't have access to the ECU library anymore. So that doesn't help me much. But, so let's go back to now, if OU's library had access to it, I'd see a third link here. But here you can see that it's available somewhere online. So I can just click that, and there's the paper. You got to be wary about sometimes about these links like that, so you'll want to have a really good firewall because sometimes it's malicious, but I mean, I've never run into a problem literally ever, and I've been doing it for 5 years now. So I doubt you'll have many problems. But sometimes if there isn't a link here, or there isn't a link that allows you to get to the document, you can click here. You'll see if there's other versions, meaning there's other links available online. You can click here, and it'll give you a whole list. So if you remember, we had this Derek Bounds.net link. We'll click here, and you'll notice that this version has a different link. That's Semantic Scholar, semanticscholar.org. If it's .org, you're probably fairly safe. But semanticscholar.org is a source where I have found a lot of my papers. And there's the paper. All right. Here's another link at the University of Kentucky. I think that's what that is. Here's another one at ResearchGate. All right. So I have found that Google Scholar tends to be, well, it has been, for me, more helpful than any library's website, even Texas Tech's library when I was there. Google Scholar is immensely helpful. Now, so that's the tools I use for finding peer-reviewed sources. Now, how can we tell if a source is peer-reviewed? Well, if it comes from a journal that's not, if it comes from a peer-reviewed journal, okay, and you can find out whether a journal is peer-reviewed simply by going to their website. All right, so let's say we want to go to the journal Experimental Psychology. Or so, there we go, Experimental Social Psychology. All right, we'll click there. All right. And you can read it in here, okay? Now, I will mention this, that there are some journals that are, so usually if they come from some society, so like the Personality and Social Psychology Bulletin, this is a publication of the Society for Personality and Social Psychology. So journals like this, journals like this, if they come from a society, you can be pretty safe. You can be fairly confident. Or if they explicitly say peer-reviewed, or if they have a good reputation. So if they have an impact factor like that, okay, then they probably have a good reputation. The higher the number, the better. But honestly, if they have an impact factor, they're probably still fairly good. So if they say peer-reviewed, if they have an impact factor, or that they come from a society, a research society, then you know that it's peer-reviewed. Okay. Now, the second aspect of the assignment is to write a reference page. Okay. Now, sorry. This is your best source. Okay. This is the 6th edition of the APA manual, and it is your absolute best source for all things APA. Okay. And when it comes to your reference page, you can look in the table of contents, and you can look under reference examples, and you can find examples by type. All right, and it says that they start on page 198. Now this is your absolute best source, but I think it's like a $30 book, a $40 book. So if you can't afford that, some other options available to you are the OWL Purdue website, and you can find that. Do a Google search. All I typed in was, you can see it right there, OWL Purdue APA, and that provided this page. Okay, so click on the link. Boom, there I go. I've got all the information that I might have found in here, right here. Okay. I still think this is a better source. I mean, you get it. I don't know. It's easier to navigate for me. But if you don't want to buy that, here is another source. Now you can get a leg up when creating your references using some citation engines. So let's go back here to PsycInfo, and let's go and find that paper that we were talking about earlier. So here we go. Here's the paper. I can click on the paper, and you see here to the right where the little hand is, you can click Cite. Scroll down, and there's your APA formatted. This is going to be probably your one of your better methods of getting a leg up on the citation. Google Scholar, which again it's just www.google.com/scholar. It has a citation engine too, so let's find that paper again. All right. See right here, there's this link that says Cite, and it'll bring up several citations. Now, I mentioned that the Psych Articles has a better citation engine, and it does. Here's an example. Here's the APA citation. You notice how it only has the starting page? That's a problem. Now, if you go back over here, it has both the starting and ending pages, and that's better. All right, that's why I say the Psych Articles is better. But if the Psych Articles doesn't have the paper, then the citation engines in Google Scholar can help, but it's oftentimes, not always, but many times I find that the citation is from the citation engine in Google Scholar is incomplete and the formatting's wrong. So you'll notice that there's no hanging indentation here, but over here there is. Okay, so this one is incomplete and flawed. This one is entirely correct. Okay, but again, sometimes you can't find it through Psych Articles or whatever search or whatever database the library has, and you can find it in Google Scholar. So if you have to use the citation engine in Google Scholar, you can copy this and use it as your starting point, and then just go back through with your manual or Al Purdue and correct as necessary. Okay. All right, guys, those were the things that I wanted to point out. Those were the tips and pointers that I wanted to give you. If you have any questions, be sure to send them my way, but that's all I have for this video. Good luck on the assignment, and I will. The next video I'll be posting is next week, so have a good weekend, and I will see you all later. Now, just because the next video I'm posting is not until next week, I will be here today, the rest of the day and tomorrow, answering emails. So be sure to send any questions you might have. I didn't mention rather in the introduction video that I posted earlier today that yes, I'm always in my office, even if the door is closed. I'm in my office during my office hours. Okay. If it's closed and you knock and I don't answer, it's because I'm in the restroom or I'm in the main office. Okay. Now I'm also on campus even when it's not during my office hours. Okay. I meant to mention this during the introduction video, but I forgot. I apologize. I'm either walking around campus in a meeting or over on the patio at the MCC. So you can find me on campus even outside of office hours in one of those places. If it's in a meeting, you'll probably have to wait. And I can't get out of the meeting usually. So those were the pointers I wanted to give you. Again, if you have any questions, send them my way. But that is it for this video. Take it easy, everybody.